You know that scene where the Batmobile's tire explodes during the chase? Adam West refused to do the stunt, so the crew rigged a radio-controlled car instead. These are the 20 hidden details in Batman you completely missed. Number 1. The shark repellent scene is iconic, but NBC censors initially demanded it be cut entirely. Producer Howie Horowitz received the memo in March 1966 stating the scene was too violent for a 7 p.m. family time slot. The compromise made the prop absurdly comedic rather than threatening. Watch the shark puppet closely and you'll see a visible fishing line on the left side holding it up. According to William Dozier's production notes, the crew had only 48 hours to redesign the scene after the censorship note arrived. Director Leslie H. Martinson transformed what was meant to be a tense action sequence into the campy moment that defined the entire film's tone. The utility belt's famous compartments became a running joke throughout production. Number 2. Julie Newmar is the definitive Catwoman, but she wasn't supposed to be in the 1966 film. She was actually the third choice after the studio rejected 2 other actresses. Newmar had a contract dispute with CBS over My Living Doll, preventing her theatrical appearance. Lee Merriweather was cast just 6 days before filming began, giving costume designer Jan Kemp almost no time to prepare. Compare the TV series purple suit to the movie's sleek black costume, and you're looking at completely different designs. The movie suit was built from scratch because Newmar's original was CBS property. Merriweather said in a 1989 interview with The Hollywood Reporter, "I had one fitting and then we were shooting. The rushed production shows if you know where to look at the costume seams." Number 3. The Batcave looks massive and expensive, but it was built using recycled materials from Voyage to the bottom of the sea, which wrapped months earlier. Production designer Sergei Krisman worked on 20th Century Fox Soundstage 12, simply repainting submarine control panels and rearranging them. Look closely at the atomic pile in the background, and you're actually seeing the submarine's reactor console. The visible rivets and panel layout match exactly. The studio estimated the Batcave would cost $150,000 to build from scratch, but Krisman's recycling trick brought it down to just $27,000. According to production records reviewed by Lorenzo Semple Jr., the entire set was assembled in 9 days, explaining why certain angles reveal obvious seams where repainted panels don't quite match. Number 4. Burgess Meredith's Penguin carried dozens of elaborate umbrellas throughout the film. Props master Bob Kinoshita built 47 separate umbrellas, and 9 malfunctioned during filming. The most infamous was the flamethrower umbrella, banned by the Los Angeles Fire Marshal after a test nearly set soundstage curtains ablaze. The production replaced the gas-powered flame with simple sparklers, though Meredith kept trying to make it work. Freeze frame the close-up and you can see duct tape wrapped around the handle where the gas mechanism was supposed to connect. Kinoshita admitted in DVD commentary that half the props were held together with duct tape and prayer. Director Leslie H. Martinson later confirmed the umbrella arsenal was the most problematic element of the entire production. Number 5. The bomb scene where Batman runs around a pier for over 2 minutes was never supposed to be that long. The original script by Lorenzo Semple Jr. called for 40 seconds of footage, but Adam West started improvising extensions. Director Leslie H. Martinson kept the cameras rolling, costing the production $8,000 in wasted film stock. Watch the background extras carefully, and you'll notice the same pier jogger appears 3 times, running left, then right, then stopping to stare. The continuity error happened because the crew kept shooting additional takes without clearing the background. West later told Entertainment Weekly the scene felt endless even while we were filming it, but Martinson's gamble paid off. It became the most memorable moment in the entire film. Number 6. The United Nations infiltration scene seems straightforward, but the real UN refused filming permits because they considered Lorenzo Semple Jr.'s script a mockery of international diplomacy. Fox's legal department scrambled to create a fake organization called United World to avoid a lawsuit, causing a 4-day production halt. This pushed the budget $43,000 over target, according to producer William Dozier's records. The UN threatened legal action if Fox used the actual logo or building exterior, forcing production designer Serge Krisman to build replica interiors on a soundstage. Director Leslie H. Martinson later called it the most stressful week of production. Number 7. Everyone knows Cesar Romero refused to shave his mustache, but the reason is darker than admitted. Union rules forbade Romero from shaving because it would violate his contract with The Fugitives, where he had a guest appearance scheduled immediately after Batman wrapped. Makeup artist Bud Westmore applied a 45-minute layering technique daily to cover the mustache with white grease paint. Romero hated every second and threatened to quit twice during production. Westmore later described the process to an American cinematographer as a daily nightmare. Zoom in on Romero's upper lip in any close-up and you can see mustache texture bleeding through the paint, especially in outdoor scenes. The harsh sunlight revealed the layering, but producer William Dozier knew they couldn't afford to lose their Joker. Number 8. The Batcopter rescue scenes look seamless, but the production was an insurance disaster. Fox rented a Bell 47 helicopter for aerial shots, but the pilot refused to fly over water after reviewing Lorenzo Semple Jr.'s script requirements. During a test flight near Griffith Park, the helicopter experienced mechanical trouble and made an emergency landing in a parking lot. No one was injured, but the insurance company immediately pulled coverage for water-based aerial stunts. The final shots are actually a scale model built by Howard A. Anderson Company's special effects team, mixed with limited real helicopter footage shot over land. During the transition, you can see where the real helicopter becomes the model. The rotor blur pattern changes completely, and director Leslie H. Martinson approved the composite despite the obvious lighting shift. Number 9. Burt Ward's Robin costume is iconic, but it almost didn't pass network censors. ABC's Standards and Practices Office literally measured the inseam of Ward's shorts with a ruler, mandating they exceed 4 inches to meet decency standards. After test screening complaints from concerned parents about the costume being too revealing, costume designer Jan Kemp manually lengthened the shorts by adding fabric. Ward described the experience in a 1994 interview with Entertainment Weekly. They had a ruler on set. It was humiliating. Compare early promotional trailers to the final film, and you can see noticeably shorter shorts in the trailer version. The modified costume appears in all theatrical footage supervised by director Leslie H. Martinson, but the original design was preserved in behind-the-scenes photography at 20th Century Fox Archives. Number 10. Reginald Denny plays Commodore Schmidlap, the kidnapped inventor whose dehydration technology drives the plot. But Denny was 75 during filming and suffering from early-stage dementia, making remembering lines nearly impossible. Director Leslie H. Martinson shot Denny's scenes in 30-second increments, with editor Ralph Winters assembling the performance from dozens of tiny takes. This was Denny's final film role before his death in 1967, and the crew knew they were racing against his declining health. Watch Denny's eye line carefully and you'll notice it never matches the other actors because he was filmed separately, often hours or days apart. According to production records reviewed by producer William Dozier, Denny's scenes required 3 times the normal shooting schedule, pushing the film further behind and over budget. Number 11. The dehydration effect, where villains reduce the United World Council to colored dust, looks expensive, but it was a budget hack. Special effects supervisor L.B. Abbott had just finished Fantastic Voyage and adapted a similar technique for Batman. The original plan called for stop-motion animation costing $90,000 and taking weeks to complete. Instead, Abbott used reverse film dissolves costing just $3,200 that could be shot in 2 days. The rough transition accidentally became the film's signature aesthetic. Abbott later admitted to American cinematographer, "We sold producer William Dozier on stylistic choice, when really we just ran out of money and time." Number 12. The underwater fight between Batman, Robin, and the villains contains no dialogue whatsoever. Most viewers assume that's an artistic choice. It wasn't. The audio recording equipment completely failed during the 4-minute sequence, leaving the production with 0 usable sound. Foley artist Walter Rossi created every single sound effect in post-production at Ryder Sound Services, including bubbles, impacts, and water movement, without any dialogue to work with. Adam West and Burt Ward were never called back to record ADR because there was nothing to dub. Watch their mouths carefully and you'll notice they never actually moved during the underwater sequence. The entire thing was shot silent, and the artistic choice explanation was created after director Leslie H. Martinson reviewed the footage to hide the technical disaster. Number 13. The sleek Batboat looks custom built, but it was actually a Glastron V174 borrowed from the 1965 Seattle Boat Show. Fox never returned it. Glastron Industries sued for $12,000, and the studio was forced to settle by purchasing the boat outright and giving Glastron prominent screen credit. Look at the hull during close-ups, and you can see the registration number partially visible under hastily applied bat decals. The props department didn't fully cover the original markings. According to legal documents reviewed by producer William Dozier's team, Fox claimed the boat was modified beyond restoration and couldn't be returned in original condition. Director Leslie H. Martinson approved permanent modifications modifications to the hull structure, the boat eventually ended up in a private collection, where restoration experts confirmed Fox's legal defense decades later. Number 14. Frank Gorshin's Riddler costume is instantly recognizable, but the green question mark jacket wasn't the original design. The first version weighed 18 pounds due to heavy embroidery and structural boning. Gorshin flatly refused to wear it after the first costume test at 20th Century Fox. He told costume designer Jan Kemp it was impossible to move in, and threatened to breach his contract if forced to wear it. Costume assistant Noel Taylor worked through the night to create an emergency redesign using painted spandex instead of embroidered fabric, reducing the weight to just 3 pounds. Director Leslie H. Martinson kept the heavier prototype in the Warner Brothers archive. Number 15. The Penguin submarine is one of the film's most impressive props, but it nearly sank the production literally. The model was built by 20th Century Fox's model shop, and during the first water tank test, it immediately sank to the bottom. The internal structure was too heavy and the hull wasn't properly sealed. The model shop crew worked a 72-hour shift rebuilding the entire submarine with a foam core, racing against director Leslie H. Martinson's shooting schedule. The emergency reconstruction pushed the budget $31,000 over target, and producer William Dozier nearly lost his job over the cost overruns. According to crew interviews with special effects supervisor L.B. Abbott, the rebuilt submarine barely stayed afloat during filming. Number 16. Adam West's deadpan delivery makes the 1966 Batman film work, but West never intended to play the character that way. He actively fought director Leslie H. Martinson's camp direction at 20th Century Fox, insisting he wanted to play Batman completely straight, like a thriller protagonist. According to editor Ralph Winters, the dailies contained 2 versions of virtually every scene, one with West's serious performance and one with the exaggerated camp take the director demanded. Winters chose the camp versions for the final cut, and West didn't realize the extent of changes until he saw the film at the premiere. Producer William Dozier later admitted the tension between West's straight-faced performance and absurd situations became the film's signature style entirely by accident. Number 17. The oversized bomb prop that Batman carries through the pier sequence has a critical error nobody caught until editing at 20th Century Fox. The prop department wired the display backwards, showing numbers increasing rather than decreasing towards 0. By the time anyone noticed, the scene was already shot, and reshooting would have cost another $15,000 the production didn't have. The solution came from editor Ralph Winters. Add a line of dialogue in ADR explaining it's a reverse polarity timer to justify the mistake. You can clearly see the numbers climbing 12, 13, 14 instead of counting down. According to producer William Dozier's post-production notes, the timer mechanism is now displayed in a museum, still wired backwards. Number 18. Alfred the Butler appears in several brief scenes, but there's something strange if you look closely. Alan Napier, who played Alfred in the TV series, was in London during portions of the film shoot due to a scheduling conflict with a West End theater production. Rather than recast or cut the character, director Leslie H. Martinson used stand-in Eric Wilton for shots filmed from behind, putting a wig on him and keeping his face hidden. The one frontal shot of Alfred is actually archival footage lifted directly from the TV episode The Penguin Goes Straight, edited into the movie seamlessly by editor Ralph Winters. Producer William Dozier approved Wilton's stand-in wardrobe even though it didn't match Napier's original. Number 19. The 1966 Batman film played worldwide, but international audiences saw very different versions. The British Board of Film Classification demanded 11 specific cuts, removing violence and what censors called suggestive Catwoman poses deemed inappropriate for UK audiences. The British cut runs 8 minutes shorter than the American version, and those missing minutes have reportedly been destroyed with no archive copies existing. France took an even harder stance, banning the film outright until 1967 because officials deemed it American propaganda disguised as children's entertainment. The French ban focused specifically on scenes depicting the United World Organization, which censors interpreted as Cold War mockery. Producer William Dozier fought the censorship, but director Leslie H. Martinson had to approve the cuts to secure international distribution through 20th Century Fox. Number 20. Here's the ultimate reveal. The iconic Batmobile you've been watching isn't the real one in most driving shots. George Barris's famous Lincoln Futura conversion was far too valuable to risk in stunts, so Fox quietly built a fiberglass replica costing $8,900 that looked nearly identical. Rewatch any driving scene carefully, and the fake Batmobile has a noticeably different tail fin angle. The opening tire explosion that started this story? That was the replica car, and the wire snap destroyed the front end so badly the replica required a complete rebuild. According to producer William Dozier's records, the utility belt buckle you see throughout is the only original prop that survived the entire production intact. The 1966 Batman film hides decades of production chaos beneath its colorful surface. From radio-controlled Batmobiles to backwards bomb timers, every frame contains evidence moments of creative problem solving under impossible constraints. That opening tire explosion was just the beginning of a production held together by duct tape, quick thinking, and sheer determination. Which hidden detail surprised you most, and what film should we open next?